Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki. Jaya Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrakacharya Stottada Shata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, BBT founder Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Senapati Bhakta Srila Prabhupada ki, Mantra Upasaka Srila Prabhupada ki, Preeminent Shiksha Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Savior of the whole world Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrakacharya Astotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Premsako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Shri Gopa Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Ganga Maya ki, Yamuna Maya ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Gaura Premananda, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, text number 18. The chapter is entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena of Maharaj Prithu. You can repeat after me. Sprishantam Padayo Premna Vriditam Svena Karmana Shata Kratum Parishvajya Vidvesham Visasarja Ha Sprishantam Padayo Premna Sprishantam Padayo Premna Vriditam Svena Karmana Shata Kratum Parishvajya Vidvesham Visasarjaha Sprishantam Padayo Premna Vriditam Svena Karmana Shata Kratum Parishvajya Vidvesham Visasarjaha Sprishantam Padayo Premna Vriditam Svena Karmana Shata Kratum Pravishvajya vidvesham visasarjaha. Sprishantam, touching. Padayo, the feet. Premna, in ecstasy. Vriditam, ashamed. Svena, his own. Karmana, by activities. Shatakratum, King Indra. Parishvaja, embracing. Vidvesham, envy. Visasarja, gave up. Ha, of course. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki. As King Indra was standing by, he became ashamed of his own activities and fell down before King Prithu to touch his lotus feet. But Prithu Maharaj immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for his having stolen the horse meant for the sacrifice. Purport. There are many cases in which a person becomes an offender to the lotus feet of a Vaishnava and later becomes repentant. Here also we find that although the king of heaven, Indra, was so powerful that he accompanied Lord Vishnu, he felt himself a great offender for stealing Prithu Maharaj's horse that was meant for sacrifice. An offender at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is never excused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many instances illustrating this fact. Ambarish Maharaj was offended by Durvasa Muni, a great sage and mystic yogi, and Durvasa also had to fall down at the lotus feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Indra decided to fall down at the lotus feet of King Prithu, but the king was so magnanimous, a Vaishnava, that he did not want Maharaj Indra to fall down at his feet. Instead, King Prithu immediately picked him up and embraced him, and both of them forgot all the past incidents. For King Indra and Maharaj Prithu were envious and angry with each other. But since both of them were Vaishnavas, servants of Lord Vishnu, it was their duty to adjust the cause of their envy. This is also a first-class example of cooperative behavior between Vaishnavas. In the present days, however, because people are not Vaishnavas, they fight perpetually among one another and are vanquished without finishing the mission of human life. There is a great need to propagate the Krishna consciousness movement in the world, so that even though people sometimes become angry and malicious toward each another, because of their being Krishna conscious, such rivalry, competition and envy can be adjusted without difficulty. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Be'evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The verse again. As King Indra was standing by, he became ashamed of his own activities and fell down before King Prithu to touch his lotus feet. But Prithu Maharaj immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for his having stolen the horse meant for sacrifice. Hare Krishna. Lord Indra had stolen the sacrificial horse of Prithu Maharaj. He had created trouble for a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so Indra was feeling ashamed of his actions. Thus Lord Indra fell at the lotus feet of Prithu Maharaj. But Indra was stopped. Prithu Maharaj had picked up Indra and gave him a hug. One of the reasons mentioned by Prabhupada is that they are Vaishnavas. A devotee doesn't develop an irrevocable grudge against anyone because he knows that everyone and everything is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee is able to see the bigger picture and is therefore able to adjust his consciousness. Another reason why Prithu Maharaj would pick up Indra and embrace him is because Prithu is a small king, a king of a single planet, whereas Indra is a big king, ruling over many heavenly planets. So it would be politically inappropriate There is also another significant reason as to why Prithu Maharaj stopped Indra from touching his feet. And that is to understand the family structure of Prithu Maharaj's lineage. The canto that we are reading now is the fourth canto. If you go to the first chapter of the fourth canto, it is entitled The Genealogical Table of the Daughters of Manu. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, Text 1, we get to learn that Swayambhuva Manu has 3 daughters. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, Text 9, we get to learn that Swayambhuva Manu has 2 sons. Altogether, Swayambhuva Manu has 5 children, 2 boys and 3 girls. The 2 boys are named Priyavrata and Uttanapad, respectively, and the 3 daughters are named Akuti, Devahuti, and Prashuti. The eldest son, Priyavrata, had become a disciple of Narada Muni, and he had taken Naishtiki Brahmachari, and we will learn more about him in the 5th canto. Uttanapad became the king after Swayambhuva Manu, and he had 2 sons. One of them was the famous Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj had received the Supreme Lord's acknowledgement at the age of 6, within a period of 6 months. Prashuti, Manu's daughter, was married to Daksha, and she had many daughters, of which one was named Sati. Sati became the wife of Lord Shiva. Because of her father's dislike towards Lord Shiva, Sati committed suicide. Swayambhuva Manu's daughter, Devahuti, was married to Kardama Muni, and she became the mother of Lord Kapila, and from Lord Kapila we get the Sankhya philosophy. Swayambhuva Manu's daughter, named Akuti, had a son. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, Text 4, is where you will find esoteric information about Akuti's son. And then at Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, Text 8, we learn that the son of Akuti becomes Indra, and this Indra marries a girl named Dakshina. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, Text 6. The same verse that tells us about the birth of the son of Akuti also tells us about the girl named Dakshina. Dakshina is a partial incarnation of Lakshmi. Sometimes when we speak about money, we call it Lakshmi. And the incarnation of Lakshmi is Dakshina, which is also a word that we use that is related to money. Practically, we can see that there is no difference between Lakshmi and Dakshina. So Indra and Dakshina had 12 sons. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, Text 8, we find out that these 12 sons of Indra all become demigods, and they become known as Tushitas. Just like in our timeline, the Devatas are known as Adityas because they are the children of Aditi. So in Swayambhuva Manu's timeline, the son of Akuti was the first Indra, and he fathered the first generation of demigods, the Tushitas. So Lord Indra, Dhruva Maharaj, Lord Kapila, and Sati are all cousins. Then we go to the 4th canto, chapter 13, entitled Description of the Descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. From this chapter, we learn the names of Dhruva Maharaj's children and a long list of names of their descendants until we go to verses 4:13-17, 4:13-18, and 4:13-19 and 20. Here we learn that Ulmukha had 6 sons, and the eldest was Anga. Then King Anga became the father of Vyana, and King Vyana became the father of Prithu Maharaj. In this way, we now have evidence that Prithu Maharaj shares the bloodline of Dhruva Maharaj. They are the same family. This is also evidence that proves that Indra and Prithu Maharaj are the same family. It can be said that Prithu Maharaj stopped Indra from touching his feet because Indra is one of Prithu Maharaj's forefathers. It would be very inappropriate. Even Krishna, in terms of family relations, he would touch the feet of Yudhishthir because Yudhishthir was his senior. But Krishna wouldn't touch the feet of Nakul and Sahadev because they were his juniors. So Prithu Maharaj stopped Indra from touching his feet. Another layer of information can be said as to why Prithu stopped Indra, and it relates to the identity of the son of Akuti, which I explained the last time I gave class. And the same information can be found in the 1st chapter of the 4th canto, right at the beginning. By studying Prabhupada's books, we can do our best to avoid committing offenses. Prabhupada says in the purport that one who offends a Vaishnava is never excused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada here is calling both Indra and Prithu Maharaj Vaishnavas. The word Vaishnava can be broken into 2 words, Vaishna and Eva. The word Vaishna means Vishnu. In Sanskrit grammar, the word Vishnu changes based on context. Vishnu can become Vishnave, and in this case it becomes Vaishna. And the word Eva, from Sanskrit to English, it means certainly. Together Vaishna and Eva means certainly Vishnu. This does not mean that any person becomes Vishnu. It means that a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a representative of Vishnu. And someone sees a devotee of the Lord, they will remember Vishnu. In the Hare Krishna movement, we wear what is called Vaishnava attire. When we go out, people see the clothes of the Vaishnava and they remember he is from the Hare Krishna movement. They even remember the words Hare and Krishna. In that way, the presence of the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead purifies the environment because it causes the people to remember the name of Krishna. The word Vaishnava can also be taken literally, at least in the context of this pastime. In this pastime, incarnations of Vishnu are present. So the word Vaishnava is known as a double entendre. A double entendre means something that has a double meaning. Usually that implies that one meaning is obvious and another meaning is esoteric. An incarnation of Vishnu can also be called Vaishnava because he is certainly Vishnu. Vaishnava aparad means an offense against a Vaishnava. Shri Shri Radha Radhana ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. As Prabhupada said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead never excuses such an offender. Prabhupada gives us the example of Durvasa Muni offending Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was an exemplary devotee. He was expert in everything. Ambarish Maharaj was perfect in all the processes of bhakti. He was perfect in Shravanam, perfect in Kirtanam. He was perfect in Smaranam. Ambarish Maharaj was an expert in Archanam, expert in Padasevanam, expert in Vandanam. Ambarish Maharaj was exemplary in Dasyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedanam. He is the best example of what it means to be a good devotee. So Ambarish Maharaj took a vow to fast on Ekadasi. When it came to breaking his fast the next day, it so happened that Durvasa Muni had come to see Maharaj Ambarish. They had made an agreement that they will eat together, and so Durvasa Muni went to take his bath. However, Durvasa Muni was taking longer than usual, and the period to break his Ekadasi fast was coming to an end. So Ambarish Maharaj decided to break his fast with sipping water. Accordingly, it's understood that drinking water is equivalent to eating and not eating at the same time. You're putting water in your mouth, you are eating, but water is not considered to be food, so you are not eating. In that way, Ambarish Maharaj broke his fast. Unfortunately, when Durvasa Muni came back, he understood that Ambarish Maharaj ate without him, and Durvasa Muni became very angry. Durvasa Muni was a partial incarnation of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is an incarnation of anger. That's why he is known as Rudra. So Durvasa Muni, who was an incarnation of the incarnation of anger, became very angry at Ambarish Maharaj. Durvasa Muni is very famous for cursing, and so he lashed out at Ambarish Maharaj. This led to Durvasa Muni receiving a backlash in the form of Vaishnava Aparad. The Sudarshan Chakra started chasing after Durvasa Muni, who was running for his life. Durvasa Muni would run all over the three worlds, and he would seek protection from Lord Brahma. But Lord Brahma isn't able to help. Then Durvasa Muni sought shelter from Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is unable to help as well. Then Durvasa Muni, with his own material body, goes to the Vaikuntha planet to take shelter of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately for Durvasa Muni, Lord Vishnu refuses to give shelter to him, but the Lord tells Durvasa Muni that if he wants to save himself, he needs to beg forgiveness from the devotee that he had offended. Heeding that advice, Durvasa Muni runs back to Ambarish Maharaj and falls at the king's feet, begging for forgiveness. Ambarish Maharaj, of course, wasn't really offended, and the misunderstanding between the two was eventually resolved. Now, if we compare the pastime between Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, and that of Prithu Maharaj and Lord Indra, you'll find that they are the opposite of each other. Durvasa Muni and Indra had to run, but Durvasa Muni was running for his life, while Indra was also running. The difference is that he was escaping with the horse meant for sacrifice. Durvasa Muni was looking for protection all over the universe, even from the Guna avatars, Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu, but he couldn't find protection. Indra, on the other hand, he was chased by the son of Prithu, who had the intention to kill Indra. But every time Indra managed to escape, Prithu Maharaj tried to take action against Indra with the intention to kill, but he was stopped by the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas wanted to take action against Indra, but they were stopped by Lord Brahma. Whenever a reaction for Indra's offense would take place, it would lose power before it even reached Indra. And the feeling, you could say, is that the son of Akuti was immune to retribution. Durvasa Muni had come all by himself to beg Ambarish Maharaj for forgiveness, and it wasn't guaranteed that Ambarish Maharaj would forgive Durvasa Muni. The option to forgive Durvasa Muni was up to Ambarish Maharaj. But here, Vishnu had personally brought Indra with him to be forgiven. The Supreme Personality of Godhead instructed Prithu to forgive Indra. Thus the option of whether to forgive or not to forgive was taken away from Prithu Maharaj. Durvasa Muni, who was a partial incarnation of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, the greatest Vaishnava. The incarnation of the greatest Vaishnava couldn't mobilize the Supreme Lord, nor could he guarantee that Ambarish Maharaj would forgive him. But Indra, as Prabhupada says here, he was so powerful that he could accompany Lord Vishnu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead had come to vouch for Lord Indra's sake, and Indra, the son of Akuti, was guaranteed that Prithu Maharaj will forgive him. Prithu Maharaj did not have the option to refuse Indra's apology. A very deep contrast between the pastimes. Both pastimes had an offense committed to a devotee, but how the Lord dealt with one offense is drastically different from how the Lord responded to another. It's very unusual. The first thing we have to question is the relationship between Indra and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's very unusual. Why is Indra, the son of Akuti, in this pastime so special? The answer is in the first chapter of the 4th canto. The 4th canto begins with telling us who is the son of Akuti. The second thing you have to question is why the Supreme Personality of Godhead is responding to Indra's offense with forgiveness. For this, I like to describe two pastimes where the Supreme Personality of Godhead does something similar, where he has two opposite responses when an offense is committed. Both pastimes can be found in the Krishna book or the 10th canto. The first example is the pastime where Lord Brahma kidnaps the cowherd boys and calves. Lord Brahma was interested in Krishna's activities, and he decided to play a trick on Krishna. While Krishna wasn't looking, Lord Brahma had stolen the cowherd boys and the calves and put them to sleep in another location. Lord Brahma decided to leave for a moment, and when he comes back, he wanted to see how Krishna will respond when all of Krishna's friends and calves were missing. As you know how the pastime goes, Krishna understanding Lord Brahma, what Lord Brahma had done, Krishna expanded himself as the cowherd boys and calves, and Krishna played the role of each cowherd boy and each calf perfectly. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead wanted to play the role of a woman, he can do it, and he can do it perfectly. The acharyas say that Lakshmi was proud of her beauty, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead crushed her pride by incarnating as Mohini Murti, the Lord's female incarnation. The Lord played the role so well that Lord Shiva, who is always in control of his senses, lost control of his senses. If the Lord wanted to play the role of Indra, he can play it so well that you'd think that he was under the influence of the modes of nature. You'd think that he was in Maya. You'd think that he was a troublemaker. So Krishna played the role of the cowherd boys and calves so perfectly that when Lord Brahma saw the scene, he became bewildered. He had to double check whether he kidnapped Krishna's friends or not. Then Krishna revealed the trick. The expansions of Krishna, which were acting as Krishna's friends, revealed themselves as Vishnu. In the next chapter, Lord Brahma offers a whole chapter of prayers to Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 40. My dear Shri Krishna, you bestow happiness upon the lotus-like Vrishni dynasty and expand the great oceans consisting of the earth, the demigods, the brahmanas, and the cows. You dispel the dense darkness of irreligion and oppose the demons who have appeared on this earth. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, as long as this universe exists and as long as the sun shines, I will offer my obeisances unto you. That's the last verse of Lord Brahma's prayers, but the next verse is more important. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 41. Shukadev Goswami said, having thus offered his prayers, Brahma circumambulated his worshipable Lord, the unlimited Personality of Godhead, 3 times and then bowed down at his lotus feet. The appointed creator of the universe then returned to his own residence. This verse is very important. Anyone who read through this pastime, through this chapter, would have thought that Lord Brahma had said so many nice prayers, so nice glorifications of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada mentioned the South African Yatra and so on. The problem, however, is that after Lord Brahma offered his prayers face to face with Krishna, Krishna doesn't respond to the prayers and Lord Brahma leaves. That's a weird reaction from Krishna. Lord Brahma was face to face with Krishna and Krishna didn't reply. There's another pastime in relation to this pastime of the cowherd boys being stolen. His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj published a book with everything related to Vrindavan, and there are some pastimes there. One of those pastimes described that after Lord Brahma left Krishna's side, he didn't immediately leave. Brahma remembered that while he was offering prayers, Krishna was holding some food prep in his hand. Brahma had the bright idea that Krishna was going to eat, and then after eating, Krishna is going to rinse his mouth by the river. Thinking like that, Brahma decided to transform into a fish, and he'll wait for Krishna to rinse his mouth. And when Krishna, after rinsing his mouth, spits out the water, Brahma will get the mercy. But Krishna, after eating, he went to rinse his mouth by the river, and when Krishna bent down to rinse his mouth, Krishna then stopped. Krishna saw in the water that there was one fish in the water. The fish had its head sticking out of the water, and he kept looking at Krishna. It kept looking at Krishna, and it kept opening and closing its mouth, just like the fish here in the moat. And Krishna was thinking that this fish that kept looking at him and kept opening its mouth and closing its mouth was very disturbing. And so Krishna decided to rinse his mouth in another location. So Brahma didn't get a response from the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he offered prayers, and the Lord didn't even give Brahma his Mahaprasadam. The other pastime where an offense is committed is the pastime where Lord Indra floods Vrindavan. Because Krishna changed the puja from Indra puja to Govardhan puja, Indra decided to flood Vrindavan, and for an entire week it rained in Vrindavan. And Krishna gave protection to all the Vrindavan residents by lifting Govardhan hill and used the hill as an umbrella. When Indra came to his senses in having his ego defeated, Indra comes to offer praise to Lord Krishna. And this is the last verse from his prayers. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 27, Text 13. O Lord, you have shown mercy to me by shattering my false pride and defeating my attempt to punish Vrindavan. To you, the Supreme Lord, Spiritual Master and Supreme Soul, I have now come for shelter. This was the last verse from Indra's prayers. Then in the next two verses, something that doesn't make sense happens. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 27, Text 14. Shukadev Goswami said, thus glorified by Indra, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, smiled and then spoke to him as follows in a voice resonant like the clouds. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 27, Text 15. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Indra, it was out of mercy that I stopped the sacrifice meant for you. You were greatly intoxicated by your opulence as King of Heaven, and I wanted you to always remember me. That doesn't make sense. Why does Krishna respond to Indra's prayers but doesn't respond to Brahma's prayers? Indra tried to kill the residents of Vrindavan. That's a big offense, but Krishna is replying to Indra's prayers. Lord Brahma played a small trick on Krishna, but Krishna doesn't reply to Brahma, who even had tears in his eyes. That doesn't make sense. And the answer to this conundrum was answered by His Grace Radha Giridhari Prabhu, disciple of His Holiness Partha Sati Das Goswami Maharaj, many years ago. He said that the reason why Krishna didn't reply to Brahma's prayers was because Brahma had taken the devotees away from Krishna. Krishna didn't forgive him. On the other hand, Indra wanted to punish the residents of Vrindavan, even at the extent of killing them. However, Indra brought the devotees closer to Krishna. For example, the gopis don't directly look at Krishna. They sidelong glance at the Lord. But when all the Vrindavan residents were under the umbrella of Govardhan Hill, everybody was looking at Krishna, and the gopis took the opportunity to look directly at Krishna. So Indra actually brought all the devotees closer to Krishna, so Krishna forgave him. The key point is that whenever Indra causes trouble, somehow or other, the devotees of the Supreme Lord can always gain something from it. Like this pastime with Indra and Prithu. Prithu Maharaj already did 99 horse sacrifices. Vishnu didn't come. Only after Indra caused trouble that the Supreme Personality of Godhead made an appearance, and it allowed Prithu Maharaj the opportunity for him to do direct devotional service for the Lord. Indra had indirectly brought Prithu Maharaj closer to the Lord. There is another example that involves this Indra, the son of Akuti. In the previous chapters, when different races are milking the earth, one description is that the demons had transformed Prahlad Maharaj into a calf, and the demons had milked beer and wine from the earth. What does this tell us? The son of Akuti, Indra, was present in the same time period as Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu as well as Nrsingadev. So if we go to the 7th canto, in the 7th chapter, Prahlad Maharaj is describing how he met his spiritual master. At the time, Hiranyakashipu was gone to do austerities in the forest. Because of Hiranyakashipu's absence, King Indra organized all the demigods into an army to attack the demons. And that's what happened. The demigods headed by Indra created havoc for the demons. The demons were getting massacred. The fight with the demons eventually afforded Indra the opportunity to invade Hiranyakashipu's home. And there Indra had captured a lady named Kayadu. Kayadu was the mother of Prahlad Maharaj. And you can imagine what it's like to be surrounded by enemies, surrounded by bloodshed and brutality. When Bhumi's life was in danger, she ran away from Prithu Maharaj. Kayadu didn't have that option. She was captured, and she was fearful for her own life, and she was fearful for the life of her child. In this situation, in a timely manner, Narada Muni appears to pacify the demigods and offers protection to Kayadu. So Indra caused trouble for the demons. He caused trouble for the mother of Prahlad Maharaj. And you can say that he put the life of Prahlad Maharaj in danger. But you can also confidently say that Indra caused Prahlad Maharaj to meet his spiritual master. Indra caused trouble, but it ended up beneficial to the devotees, and in this case, it led to the appearance of Nrsingadev. There is one more point I wanted to bring up. A few weeks ago was the appearance day of Vamanadev. You know the pastime. Vamanadev asked for 3 steps of land from Bali Maharaj, and Vamanadev ended up taking everything from Bali Maharaj in 2 steps. Then Bali Maharaj offered his head as the 3rd step. As a result, Bali Maharaj became a pure devotee of the Lord, and he became famous as a Mahajan, an authority in devotional service. In the 8th canto, when you read this pastime, when you read about the situation when Vamanadev arrives, it describes that Bali Maharaj had completed a fire sacrifice. There is only one type of yagya that a ruler engages in, and that is the Ashwamedha yagya. To rule the 3 worlds, you have to perform 100 of such yagyas. Bali Maharaj had completed 100 horse sacrifices. That's why he was very jovial. Bali Maharaj was very happy when Vamana Dev asked for 3 steps of land, Bali Maharaj replied, "Why ask for 3 steps of land when I can give you anything in the 3 worlds?" But everything was taken away by Vamana Dev, and Bali Maharaj was sent to the lower planetary systems to live, and he has to live there until the end of Vaivashvata Manu's life, the end of the 7th Manvantara. The reason that is given as to why Bali Maharaj had to stay in the lower planetary systems and can't yet go back home, back to Godhead, is because he still has to enjoy the results of his 100 horse sacrifices. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 13, Text 17. In the 8th Manvantara, the greatly powerful personality of Godhead, Sarvabhauma, will take birth. His father will be Devaguya, and his mother will be Saraswati. He will take the kingdom away from Purandara, Lord Indra, and give it to Bali Maharaj. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 13, Text 12. In the period of the 8th Manu, among the demigods will be the Sutapas, the Virajas, and the Amrita Prabhas. The king of the demigods, Indra, will be Bali Maharaj, the son of Virochan. After becoming a pure devotee of the Lord, Bali Maharaj has no interest in material life. But because he has done 100 horse sacrifices, he has to stay in the material world to enjoy the results of those 100 horse sacrifices. Bali Maharaj has to become the 8th Indra. If we apply the same idea to Prithu Maharaj, if Prithu Maharaj was successful in performing 100 horse sacrifices, he would have to continue staying in the material world to enjoy the results of 100 horse sacrifices. Prithu Maharaj would have to wait and become the next Indra. So when Indra, the son of Akuti, stole the horse, he actually saved Prithu Maharaj from material entanglement. Indra was actually the hero in this pastime. Bhaktisiddhanta once said, "One who praises you is an enemy, and one who criticizes you is a friend." The Brahmanas were encouraging Prithu Maharaj to do more fire sacrifices, more fruitive activities. They were his enemies. Indra, who stole the horse and put a stop to Prithu Maharaj's karma kanda activities, was a friend. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 88, Text 8. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth." In this way, it can be said that it was the Supreme Personality of Godhead's favor that the horse got stolen. In the overall lesson is that when there is misunderstanding between devotees, you have to have proper understanding of the situation. Otherwise, you will jump to conclusions, and that will lead to offenses against the Vaishnavas and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.